Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Carlotta Chatwood Show. I am on live again. It's. I said today I was going to try to do this morning to do a live for you guys and stuff like that because listen, your girl got a lot going on. Okay, all right. It is. Can y'all believe it is? We're already at the end of June. Oh my God, the time it feels like it was just May. I mean, I'm like, come on, really? I mean, the time is just moving so fast, and we're already in July. We'll be in July tomorrow. Oh my God. It's just moved. It's so fast. Pretty soon, we'll be seeing holiday stuff. I mean, this is crazy. Oh my God. I hope you guys are having a fun, exciting summer. We are heading to America's 250th birthday. I feel like that is a special birthday for America. We are, America has not been a perfect place, right? But America is still a blessing, even to people whose ancestry in America where they were or are were they enslaved. And let me tell you, it's even a more beautiful holiday for black folks because black Americans, because we have been here through it all before America even became America. I want to encourage you guys. There is a thing that comes on PBS about Black American slaves, about not just about Black American slaves, but also about the slave trade. Everything is I don't now everything I don't agree with that this person says, even though she's a historian, but I've listened to a lot of historians on it. But I love some of the takes and some of the things you will learn on this journey. As we going towards the 250th anniversary of America. One of the biggest things that made America America, that helped to cultivate America, even though it's the most hideous thing on America's resume, which is slavery. And to me, if you're going to be watching the 250, if you're going to be celebrating this year, the 250th anniversary of America, you have to watch the story of the Black Americans in the United States and the slave trade, and understanding the impact that that situation alone had on America. Okay. And also they have another thing. They also have things on too. Oh, I forget. I'm gonna come. I need to put these. I'm gonna try to put them up if I get a chance on the Carlotta Chat with Show links where you guys can go watch things also on American history. Please watch something on American history to understand how America becomes America and the history of American Revolution, of American Revolutionary War, and Civil War, and all these things that made America become America, and the fact that we have survived as a country 250 years. Okay, very powerful celebration when we meet those landmarks of fives and tens. Those are very powerful. Okay. So I just want to encourage you guys to pay it look not only at, like I said, American history, but look at a big part of the American history, which is the American with the Black Americans and the slave trade. Listen, let me tell you something about Black Americans. We are truly the American thing. And why I say that, watching this week is because when you look at the history of slavery, and if you whether you believe you're indigenous to land or you were from Africa, Black American slaves came from along a coastal part of Africa, different countries in Africa, different places. And when they came here, you know, they carried some of their culture, but most of their culture was stripped from them through what a process that they would do in the slave trade called seasoning, and then later on certain things. So Black Americans, we're here, the Black American history of the slave trade, unlike other cultures who come here, who immigrate here with cultures intact and not having the experience that Black America has enslaved. Black America is enslaved. The process of getting your culture stripped from you, um, and being in a place where you have to develop the language to speak to other slaves who don't share your same language. You might share the same color, but you don't share the same language. You're from different places, different worlds, different countries and cultures in Africa. And we came to this country as a group of people who shared the same color and who were, our ancestors were harassed because of that. That's one of the things they ended up using. Very new to the Americas. That was an Black American, American thing to introduce race into the slave trade. Okay, that's why when I tell people, when you say it don't matter what port you got dropped off, I say it's new. Right? The chattel slavery was a little different. uh, and what they did to break a slave. So we are a people that came into to American life. I call us the true American thing because we didn't come here. While we may have had some traditions from Africa, a lot of it was stripped because we could carry certain things, but and our ancestors carried certain things, but there was no communication sometimes with other groups because sometimes they were stripped from their culture altogether. And you might be there with somebody from Ghana, might be there with somebody from the Kenyan area, or a different country along the West African or along the coastal areas, okay, and may not share the same language and stuff. So we had to create new ways of communication, new ways of being in these in America. And some of the stories are so sad. How you hear about people being, never getting to see their homeland again. I've known about these stories for years and read about them for years, but it's always a reintroduction to it. It's really a huge part of the American history. And shame on you, Donald Trump, for trying to erase it for your constituents, because I know Donald Trump knows better than that. But the constituents, and shame on you, anybody calling themselves a Christian and don't want to look at the sin of America, the great sin of America, shame on you. And not feel a sense of repentance for it. Ridiculous. Okay. But anyway, going back to this, what I was saying, the slave trade is what we see in the and there's an erasure too going on with Barack Obama too, because Barack Obama, let me say this real quick, and this is part of our fault, Black people. Everybody Black does not have this Black American experience. Barack Obama, we still have yet to have a Black American a Black American president who is the descendant of slaves in America, or the enslaved in America. We have yet to have that. It has been immigrants. That is a significant difference. That is not they don't share the history and the lineage of what has went on with us in America. So and it's not to diss them, it's not being xenophobic, it's just the truth. Okay, so that is very true. So Barack Obama, even though he married a Black American woman and everything, he does not share the lineage. Okay, and that's not to diss him, it's just what it is. And so he has an white American mom, but his father is from Kenya. So we have to start looking at this too, because how important, what role does lineage play in American racism too, okay? But going back to what I was saying about the slave trade, when you look at the slave trade, when you understand the Black American experience, you will understand. I love what Joy Reid said, and I'm not a big Joy Reid person, but I love what she said is they are many, they are one out of many. They became, when they came, and they became one. That is probably why we became one of the most dominant cultures. We had to make something up from scratch. We give Africa, no offense to the continent of Africa, but we give you far too much because we were disconnected as a people. We felt like stepchildren, and still do. So sometimes we try to connect to anything, including people who partnered in the slave trade and it also explains Africa's role in the slave trade, even though I disagree with some of it too. But it's a very interesting thing. This documentary. But what I will say is, us as a people becoming many out of one, a lot of our cultures and our things were erased. So we come to this country with having to make up things, and these things are made up during our journey in America. So these are American traditions. We are the first culture probably that has pure like American traditions that were started in the Americas, that we didn't carry culturally over from another place, where other immigrants got to bring their cultures. We were stripped of a lot of our culture. Maybe we brought certain things, but a lot of things our ancestors didn't. They were stripped of it. So they had to create new cultures, new ways of being, new ways of doing, where other people could bring their cultures. We couldn't. So I always say we're one of the true American things. I even heard Tucker Carlson say they are the true, probably heritage American. They are heritage Americans. That's very true. Black Americans are. And so if you want to know part of American history, you cannot erase the Black American as part of that. Fought in every war, everything. So please look at that. Look at the history of Black Americans in America, and you will find we're one of the true American things. Even from our music to everything, is very much built on. It was very much a true American thing because we come from many different groups in Africa, or whatever you want to believe, indigenous to the land or whatever. We come from different spots and spaces, so we had to create something different. Okay, so very powerful story. That is wonderful. And also look at, like I said, also there are a lot of documentaries out here about the histories of America. It's important that you know about the founding fathers and how America was built and American history. That'll help you to understand everything you need to know about America. Okay, so they have a lot of wonderful documentaries out here about the history of America and the country you are living in. Okay, and I always encourage Black people. I think Juneteenth should be celebrated just like July 4th. But I always, because it's a moment of history and freedom. But I also believe Black people, we should celebrate July 4th very hard, because our people's blood is in the soil. We are, if anybody built this country more than anything, who gave their time, who were people who were kidnapped, and you got 260 years of free labor, free wisdom, and everything. Not only that, you got talent and all kinds of things from Black America. We are a part of the soul, so we have the right to celebrate this time too. Okay, and celebrate our journey in America, okay, in the 250 years that America has become, and before America, because we were here before America began, okay, when America was a colony, just the 13 colonies, all right. So yeah, so you guys, I just want to encourage you to do that on this July the 4th. Sit with your family, listen, and sit with your young people. Make young people attentive to history. If you know anything about history, if you're stay attentive and that's what my grandmother used to do with me. She used to make me watch Donahue and people like that, because she's like, no, you need to know, you need to understand. Sit there and listen. And little stuff, I used to be irritable, but now I remember certain things. I remember certain principles and things like that. So it's very important. Make your kids sit and look. Make it a family thing, okay? To watch something on American history and the Black Americans and the slave trade, okay? And I'm not just talking to Black people. I'm talking to all people that live in America. You should know the history. Some of those are the two big huge events for America. Okay, is the development of America and the slave trade. Okay, and then you may have a more appreciation for Black people, because a lot of you guys, a lot of immigrants and people come here with with what is it? Come here with stereotypes, and they have a lack of empathy, a lack of sympathy for the Black American person and what the Black American person has gone through in America in its journey, in our journey in America. And so to create some of that sympathy and empathy for people who are heritage Americans, do so. And I also say, also look at something about the Native American too, in that's understanding of uh, American history. Okay, very important. Native American history, Black American, and the American history overall. Okay. All right, you guys. So, oh my God, what am I going to talk about today? What is issue? This, y'all, it's a word today. I want to talk about generosity. I'm even having to do this for myself because sometimes when we live in a scarcity energy in society, when we're living in a time where people are the resources seem more scarce, people seem more afraid of financially, all kinds of things, the importance of generosity and kindness and things like that today. And especially if you're running a business. I saw something interesting on the internet. I want to share it. I want to say fair use for everything we use. We use it for educational purposes and stuff like that. But I always want to try to give you guys the name of people who video and stuff I use. But here's the thing. I saw something that was very interesting. And I thought, hold on, you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna get this up. Let me take a quick break, real quick, and then I'm gonna get this up for you guys so you guys can see this clip, and we'll go into your "It's a Word." Okay, so give me a moment here, y'all. All right, you guys, I am back. Okay, let me get this here. I am back, you guys. Okay, so I saw this interesting thing. We're talking about y'all. It's a word today. So I saw this interesting thing on Hairbrush News. Okay, and it was a young lady talking about her experience as a designer with celebrities. And it says Hairbrush News. You guys can go to Hairbrush News on Instagram to see this. But it says she said straight up, now tell me, do you think celebrities should still be asking for freebies? Yes, I do, and I'm going to explain to you why. And I really don't believe every celebrity should just assume this, because this is a part of celebrities. Celebrities is going to have to understand it's going assumption, just assuming that uh, you are owed free things. Hold, you guys, hold just a second. Okay, guys, sorry about that. All right, so it's not just the assumption of just thinking that celebrities are all free things, but it's also has understanding as a person with a business. Let me just explain this. This is my personal opinion. As a person having to who worked in the customer service industry for many years, okay, you have to make sure you have a budget for freebies. People don't realize one of the ways AOL, when I don't know if a lot of you kids may not be old enough to remember when the internet first came and how everybody had AOL. One of the reasons everybody had this, if you look at that, and you can look that up, it's a very old school, but the reason why people had a lot of this AOL in the early days of the internet was because they gave out freebies. They gave out free, and they were able to gain a lot of customer in the day, in the early days. Now other things cause AOL to follow. Right? You don't want to give out, you don't want to be crazy where you break your business, but there was a business model to that. So I want to be able to say to people that one of the things you want to be able to do is give out freebies. I hear a lot of crazy stuff now. Even I heard a girl on the internet the other day, a black girl, let me just explain, a black woman who does black people's hair. And she was talking about tips and why she cuts off customers a tip. I had to laugh because I was like, when did you start believing, even though the certain people in the service industry, it used to be that you didn't give the owner of the shops and owners and stuff tips, but sometimes now you do. But I also believe that you also have to understand the group of people who you cater to. Sometimes black people in America, tip is a fairly new thing for hairdressers and stuff like that. My personal opinion, Black America, because Black people sometimes scrunch up the money. I remember people going to beauty shops and everything, scrunching up the money to get their kids' hair done, scrunching up the money to get their hair done and stuff like that. The salon used to be a place where people could go to and meet other people, talk to other people. Yeah, we stay there too long, but I know the salons have changed a lot now, but it's the same customer base model. Understand the people who you dealing with. Not sometimes everybody have money to give you a tip in that hair care industry. Everybody ain't Beyonce. I know everybody try to look like Beyonce, but everybody is not Beyonce today. Sometimes when women are getting weaves, these things are super expensive, and hairdressers, we understand, takes a lot of time. But people, how people, you dealing with a certain group of people. Trust me, it probably took everything to get that money for that hair weave. And you got to buy the hair. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to say, just be very careful with that. We have to start understanding customer service, who your target audience is. If you have business, even if you don't have a business, even when you're working for somebody you're working in someone else's business, understanding and knowing who that business caters to makes you a lot better at what you do. Okay. So I saw this young lady on, and she was talking about her business and something she said about celebrities. And I thought this was very interesting. So take a listen to this, y'all, here.
Yeah. She borrowed some stuff, or her stylist pulled some pieces from my collection to wear for American Idol. And she wore them. And before they were returned, the stylist called and said, Paula would really like to keep these 3 pieces. And I said, no problem. I'll send you over the invoice. And then she was like, oh, she was hoping you would gift them to her. I'm like, she's filming American Idol for who knows how much she's getting an episode. I'm over here struggling, can barely pay my rent and my one employee and my one sewing lady. And you want me to give you $1,000 worth of clothes for free? How about she pays me the $1,000 and then pays me another $1,000 for letting her borrow the rest of the stuff that I have to dry clean? How about that?
And did she pay?
No, they sent everything back.
Wow.
They were like, oh, she doesn't want it. They sent everything back. I thought that was so tacky.
Wow.
So tacky. I've had a few celebrities that just don't like to pay. Mm-hmm. Especially when I was first starting my business. I mean, I'll name a few. Straight up now, tell me, do you?
Okay, let me just say this. At the time of American Idol, and this is no offense to this lady, I understand what she means. If you're a new business owner and you're struggling to pay the rent, you're struggling for different things, it's hard when you're catering to this world of celebrity. When the world of they say, hey, can you give us these things for free? Listen, let me explain something though. Why you need to consider that. And why when she asked you for something for free, when they asked you, you could have negotiated with say, hey, this is fine, but can she mention me on American Idol or on her at the time they still had the websites and stuff coming up. She mentioned me in her interviews about who designed this thing for her so that I can get back the energy. There are ways to negotiate that with celebrities. I've heard people with contracts give celebrities free things, and they've negotiated where they've told the celebrities come on and shown a hat they're wearing or a shirt they're wearing and who bought it and stuff like that. Those things can be negotiated. But let me tell you why you should not. And I've heard people say that's why I don't cater to celebrities, because they always want everything free. Let me explain. It depends on who that celebrity is and where and how much they're out and about and how much internet access they have. When we're talking Paula Abdul at the time of American Idol, if Paula Abdul wore your outfit on American Idol during that time at American Idol's height of publicity, it was super popular, super famous. Everybody was looking at people on there. It probably changed your business's life if you let it, if you knew how to work it. It's not just a matter of letting her wear it, but it's also a matter of knowing where people can come to get it and making sure that it's not just a matter of letting the celebrity wear it or letting the celebrity put it out there. It's also about making sure that publicity gets back to you and being prepared for the orders and everything that you will get in. Okay. If she worked that situation right, it should have blew her life up, because at that time, American Idol was hugely popular. Super popular. You're talking about millions and millions of people tuning in every night to watch that show. Or the night it was on, the nights it was on to watch it. And so you should have got a lift out of that. That is why celebrities are important. That's why people give them free things, because they are walking billboards, a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them, right? They are walking billboards for you. They can get, if a celebrity is going on the Grammy Awards, sometimes they get those outfits for free. Sometimes they don't, but sometimes they do. Or it's they wear a piece of jewelry. Sometimes they have to return it back. Sometimes they don't. But if you're an up and coming artist, always make room. I mean, an up and coming designer, an up and coming person with a business, make room to give out certain freebies and be generous, because generosity will fuel your business. I try to tell people this all the time. Generosity. I'm going to tell you somebody who had a business model of generosity. And sometimes I have heavy criticism for her too. But see, I've been on her this week. But Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey's talk show not only just was a talk show, right? She didn't just come on talking every week. That's why a lot of you girls can't get it. That's why a lot of your shows, a lot of people, these shows are staying on because they ain't got no other slots to fill. They ain't got time slots to fill. Nothing. What is it? The television station don't have they can't fill your slot real quick, so they trying to they keeping you out for a while. But you haven't modeled what Oprah. That's why I said Oprah did the game so well that it's hard to bring it back. Like Wendy Williams had to do something different when she came to the talk show host game. That's why she was successful, because Wendy brought her brand to the talk show. But if Oprah did something so magnetically powerful for a talk show, Oprah's brand was not just about her talking and self-help and self this and that and making the self better and everything like that. Oprah had a brand of generosity. Oprah had a brand that displayed give, and everything is going to come back. All Oprah's value systems. She's an Aquarius. I keep telling y'all to look to her for the age of how to move in the age of Aquarius. Okay. Oprah had a brand that said she was always helping others. Oprah had a whole book club that helped millions of authors become bestsellers overnight. Oprah had a lot of things. Now, some things I didn't like about Oprah, certain things Oprah did wrong. She's human. There's a lot of things I can put on here that Oprah did wrong to get. But what I'm saying is that her brand, the overall energy of her brand, generosity flowed constantly through that brand. Even her Christmas shows, what was she doing? What people used to scour to get in those shows at the holidays. Why? Because she was giving away a bunch of stuff. You get this, right? You know what I'm saying? So there was, and then not only that, she also taught generosity on her show about giving. People play it forward. The first time I ever heard it was on Oprah Winfrey Show. Okay. It was a concept that Oprah Winfrey show sold, because she had people on there and they would pay for somebody's, if they were going through the toll, they pay for other people's toll and all these things. I just want to say to you, if you're going to have a business, make sure you have a budget for giving, especially to people who can help you be seen, help you be noticed. Okay. And just not just about that, but just be able to give it just a thing for giving, because giving puts another energy that you might not see in coins, but you see in different ways. Good faith and good things start to surround your business and opportunities for yourself. So I just want to say it is important. I understand what she's saying, but I think there was also a moment like you should have been like, wow, well, can we work that out? Because I want to make sure that we get, we're, we're a little company and we want to make sure that we get this and that. So there's a lot of number of ways that probably could have been worked out. But Paula Abdul at the height of that time, I don't think that was a smart idea. I probably would have gave her to her. But if you're working in that scarcity energy, you're not gonna see that idea manifest itself. And it's the same thing with celebrity. This is what celebrity is having to learn to do this time. I keep telling celebrity, the model is going to be Oprah Winfrey a little bit, not all the way, just a little bit in how she brand her brand. Oprah's brand is not just built on even if it's fake or whatever y'all think. I don't know. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying her brand is built on a value system. Anytime you hear Oprah talk, she's talking about ethics, values, morals, even if you disagree with them. It's a deeper, her brand invokes deeper calling. I'm just not out here to be acting. I'm out here to show you my value system. I'm out here to show you my legacy, my ethics. I'm out here to help mankind, humanity, in the way I feel is best suited. Okay. It won't be just about you being famous and getting all the perks from fame in terms of, and that's for the celebrity too, that I want to say. Celebrities who have your business, you have to learn how to give generosity. I saw this young girl. I love her. I love her takes. Because I agree with them. I've said this countless of times on this show that now, I mean, for a little while it's going to work, because what's happening is a lot of companies have been promoting. They still promoting these big artists that they made superstars and they put a lot of money behind, and they don't want you guys to know the losses they're taking. This is just my personal opinion. So a lot of stuff is going to be built up. You might see tours built up that they, you know what I'm saying, where they gave away a bunch of tickets and all this stuff. But really, the new breed of celebrity, you're going to have to give more. You're going to have to be more generous, have more generosity, more kindness. I would encourage you guys to look at Oprah and how she moved in her brand. It's why no talk show has been able to ever compete with Oprah, because Oprah really put those value systems out there in her brand. Remember, what would she have every year? As she put it on her show, all the people that she admired as a young woman growing up, you know, who encouraged her when her life wasn't so good. What does Oprah do? What did she have? One of those big, she used to have those big parties, these legacy dinners or something, I forget. And she'd honor the people, like different people. What did she do? Look at her brand. Oh my God. Let me tell you. Listen, this is the age of Aquarius. I'm trying to tell y'all what's up. Okay. She was trying to show y'all ahead of time. I'm not saying you got to give away a bunch of, but this was just as much of her brand as anything was. She not only brought it to TV, her legacy dinners, her having dinner with Maya Angelou, or Sidney Poitier, or what, you know, whatever her thing was. Okay. And there's problematic things with Oprah's brand. I understand that, but I'm trying to give y'all the good things right now. We're talking about good things. What I'm saying about one of the things you can get from her is that she gave, not only was she had these big lavish parties for these people that she admired, and would tell and would put the spotlight on them about what they did and what they brought into the world, but she gifted them. These people used to be excited about going to her parties, because what they get, diamond earrings, diamond this and that. She got it. I'm not saying be exactly like Oprah. I'm saying understand the energy that was behind what Oprah Winfrey was. And that was part of that was not only a spirit of appreciation, you know, and but it was also generosity. Okay. And so in your businesses, when you have a business, or when you're a person working for a business, when you're doing things or stuff like that, understanding how important generosity works in your everyday thing. I remember when I used to sometimes working in customer service could be draining, right? And I saw people every day. People would come complain, they come all that stuff and everything. And I was one of the managers, so it was a lot. So one of the things I learned was what could I do to make my day better? What could I found out the things that what our company would give away, or they would and so I made sure I had that at my access to give to customers. It made me feel better. hey, you know what I'm saying? Let me give you this, or let me do this. And it would make my day feel better because of showing generosity or appreciation to a person, a customer that was really good, or that came to ask us something or do something like that. Sometimes that's what you create, that energy inside your business and your things. Okay. But when you are not that, when you're just taking, it's not going to be good after a while. Okay. So, that's just my personal opinion. Okay. That'll only last for so long. But what I saw here, let me see what else I liked. We talk about I wanted to show you the young lady who to me is really doing some of the most important work. I mean, she's giving out really powerful freebies on the internet for anybody who's got a brand to me. So let me see if I can find it here. We showed her talking about super fans. This is Jane Lee Music. Okay, Jane Lee Music. I love some of her takes. I love some of the things that she says. Very brilliant about building your fan bases, building just it's not just about music to me. Some of the things that she's giving out can be used in any business. Okay. And what she's saying is recognizing your customer. I realized years ago, I went to an event in Hollywood years ago, and I realized that Hollywood had a customer service problem. And the reason Hollywood had a customer, and I knew Hollywood was going to go down after I saw this too. The reason why Hollywood has a customer service problem is because the demand was so great that they felt that you could see that Hollywood was thinking, well, the demand is so great for people that people wanting to be around this world, be around the famous, and people always do that, you know, be around the famous, be around the celebrity world, that we can treat them any way we think we need to. You're trying to be a part of our world, not us be a part of you. A very elitist attitude. And I knew when I saw it, I said, this is not good. Eventually, this is going to crack. And the reason it's going to crack is because it's got so much decadence, so much all these things in it. And it doesn't have an energy of generosity, kindness to your target customer. You don't understand how important your customer is to what you do. And the customer allowed mistreatment because they wanted to be near the fame. And so, but fame now, here's the thing about what's happened in the age of Aquarius. Fame is getting exposed as, I said, that's great. We really want to be associated. Fame doesn't look that good. The famous haven't made it sometimes look that great. Some have, some haven't. So it's being exposed now. And I knew those models were going to crack because you have to have customer service. Okay. You can't just have like this whole weird distance thing that Hollywood created for a certain time that worked, but doesn't work in today's time. Okay. So let me see if I can find this other video, you guys, so you guys can see it. It was really good what she was saying. Okay, I'm trying to find y'all. Okay. I know how I be doing, so sometime. Okay, this is from Jane Lee. It's something she said this week, and I don't want to play all her content, but I'll just play some of it so you guys can get what she's saying. But she's talking about proximity to your fans. proximity to your customer. I'm saying this for myself and just whatever I decide to do in life, to understand how important this is. Okay. Having this energy. I thought this was brilliant. You guys, please follow her. She is so brilliant. I really like a lot of the stuff she's saying. Jane Lee dot music. But here's something she has that I thought was really good. Hold on, if I can bring this.
Anything with you, and then they call you or they show up and they say, hey, can you do this for me, bro? You'd feel used, wouldn't you? So explain me this. Why do you expect somebody to stream your song? Why do you expect somebody to buy a hoodie? Why do you expect them to come to your show? Why do you expect them to support your career when that's exactly how you show up? Only when you need something. It's not building community, that's extraction. A lot of indie artists, a lot of you guys are operating in this way and you don't even know it. You've reduced your audience, your followers, your fans, your community to a moment of conversion. Very transactional. We're now exiting the era where artists were revered because of distance. That model only worked when it was scarce, when access was scarce, when you couldn't see the artist, talk to the artist or reach the artist, because distance created mystique, and then mystique created demand. But now access is infinite, isn't it? The world of infinite access, do you now understand that distance doesn't feel so powerful anymore? It makes you less relevant.
I agree. Even though I do believe a little bit of mystique always still goes a long way, but you have to learn how to filter that in today's time of proximity. Okay. She's so right. You can't, no longer is the days you can go away for weeks at a time and months at a time and years at a time. You just can't, unless you're used to the algorithm is used to you doing that. Okay. It's not many Sade's and Maxwell's that can do that. And Maxwell's not even doing that anymore. Okay. Sade, I think, does that is because Sade's, Sade is just a mystery but when Sade comes out next time, when she does her next round for a tour, she probably will be speaking a lot more. You'll probably see her on more podcasts. You'll probably see her opening up a bit more about her life and herself because this age requires it. Okay. So you will see that a little bit more. I encourage artists to do this, be able to make the transition. If you do not, even Janet Jackson. Did you see Janet Jackson the other night at the BET Awards, which I'm going to talk about? Look at how she was dressed. You think that was not on purpose? You think that having a Tupac t-shirt on and all that stuff, it's relatability to you. Years ago, you wouldn't have seen Janet out in no t-shirt wearing something about Tupac. But there is Janet wearing that Tupac shirt and that Tupac thing. She's trying to show, hey, I'm a fan too of people. I'm a this and that. She's trying to show you relatability. You like Tupac, so do I. I did a movie with, but so do I. That's relatability. That outfit was put together, in my personal opinion, that is selling off her relatability because she is Janet Jackson, who used to be the queen of mystique. Listen, she is out here a lot more. Janet shares so much. Janet always has, though, if you paid attention. She really has. She's private, but not private. She really has shown. Even when she was going with Jermaine Dupri, she always shared a lot. Even her birthday party, she shared her birthday party online. Janet is a sharer now. Janet shares everything, a lot of things. She doesn't share a lot about her kid. And I understand that. People have the right to do that. But she definitely shares a lot of and that might change in the future with the child too as they get older. But Janet definitely shares. She's sharing more nowadays. Because why? Because it is important. Especially if you have the super fan, right? You have to learn to be generous. I remember I said to a person, one of my people that I like, I said, you need to have, because I said, I seen the certain women certain people entertain people. They was having, listen, let me just say this. This is what's great about Chris Brown when you go to Chris Brown's meet and greets. That's part of his branding. What Chris Brown has kind of shown a little bit here, even though there's a lot of other things problematic that I would work with Chris Brown. But Chris Brown, what he's done with his meet and greets is that he's saying to my fans, I mean, you don't have to do that. You don't have to take the pictures that Chris Brown does and everything with his fan base. You don't have to go that far. But what I love about Chris Brown is that he is saying, I recognize how much money you spend to come up in here. I recognize that this is gonna be a moment that you probably listen. I don't know how much overtime you work. This is what he's saying with what he does, what it's giving off. He probably ain't thinking this at all. I don't know, but it's what it's giving to that person. It's saying, hey, I know you spent this hard. This was a hard-earned $1,000. This was a hard-earned $1,200, and I'm gonna make sure that you have a memorable moment with me. This is our moment. Let's take how we're gonna take this picture. How we gonna look? What we gonna do, girl? What we gonna, you know what I'm saying? Sitting on my lap, you want me proposing to you? Whatever. He gives them that moment, and it's reinvented Chris in a lot of ways. It's reinvented that brand of him in a lot of ways of being a mean guy, looking like he wasn't out. No, this is really helped to rebrand Chris Brown in some ways. Just that little thing, showing my fans that I appreciate you. Like, and it can't be a one-time thing. It has to be consistently. When you have these brands, when you build generosity in your brand, it can't be like, oh, I showed all my fans one time on one thing. No, it can't be that. It has to be a consistent generosity, a thing of generosity with your, with your giving your fans love and fan bases love. Okay. I would tell the entertainer, really ain't nobody more important right now. You're not even hanging out with more celebrities. Like, it used to be a time where hanging with the celebrities would get you going to the Rock Nation breakfast. Now that shit ain't nothing now. Don't nobody pay no attention to that. It is now probably the I would more be focusing on fan bases, creating super fans, creating generosity, and not creating obsessive people. I'm just saying creating a strong base. And I hate to even say fans, a strong base of friends and admirers of what you do. And creating a community who shares in your overall goal to reach people through your artistry. And you have to define that to people. You can't be an artist nowadays with no definition. I'm just out here floating in the cosmos, whatever this is, blah, 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 blah. No, you have to give a definition of who you are to these fans. So they help carry your message. They help carry your stories. They help carry your things. Same thing with your business. They help carry your makeup brand. They'll help carry your social activism, whatever your business will be. They'll help carry your work as an actress or a singer or a work as a plumber or a doctor or a lawyer or whoever you are, a waitress even. I talked about how in New York City in the 80s, they used to have a big time waitress lady who was in a book about for her service, because people would line up just to be served by her. So nothing is little. It is understanding, being generous first and appreciative will help your business go a long way. It is powerful ethics that you can add to your business model. I encourage you to go look at Jane Lee Music. I really like what she said there about proximity to your fans, not taking your fan base for granted, being out here. I gave a scathing review of Maxwell's cruise. It wasn't the cruise itself I didn't give a scathing review to. I love the cruise. The cruise was awesome. I gave a scathing review to him because there was an idea of creating distance and mystique. And I'm really big on, I'm like, no, you don't do that. What are you doing? No. I'm big on that. And I say these things to help people. You cannot, I don't know what they was doing. You got too many, I said too much going on, too many. You have to create an interactive community. Generosity and appreciation may call you to work a little bit more, but you should do it. What I hated, can I just say this? And I'm gonna say this. I hate to keep using Maxwell as an example, but I'm gonna use him. Listen, I hate it. I'm gonna tell you what I hated about the cruise. I'm gonna tell you what I disliked it. Afterwards, there was, if I was an artist, I always said on that cruise, I've been like, what? Because not only did I come to give my time and my art, but listen, I just, can you show me on the damn, can your people put up a post of the cruise, or like a little piece of me performing? It's almost like, it's just like I did it and that's that. I don't like that. I hate that kind of thing. And I really say it. I say it over and over. I come against my own fave in that. I love me some Maxwell, but I know I will criticize. Okay. I will let you know I'm a Virgo moon. I will let you know. Okay, I will let you know. Listen, I have some criticism of me right now and how I do this show. I be like, Chad, I don't be caring. That's not good. Okay, so listen, but I'm saying to people, it is important when you have when you have a business, people spend all that money on you. Show that you understand. Like, you understand the brand needs to. That's where to me, I'm gonna use him as an example. I thought, bad mistake, because you got super fans. Because I've met them. I'm a super fan. You got super fan. Listen, it's such a bad mistake. It's such a, oh God, it's such a bad mistake. It was a bad mistake to not show moments on that cruise, to not show yourself. It was just such a, I can't even really tell you. And a lot of the fans did the work. Shout out to a lot of the fans. They have footage, they have videos. Listen, I'm gonna say this too. It's an artist right now. Sidebar, artists. I keep trying to tell you, these no videos don't work. No videos. Y'all putting these videos in y'all pouches, telling people to put this stuff in your pouch. Let me tell you, I just saw this week somebody's concert sales help their concert sales by showing footage, a video. This is not the generation that. Unfortunately for you, it is not a generation anymore who comes to shows and just want to sit there. They like to videotape the shows. Everybody is a walking social media thing. Everybody is a walking news person. These phones have allowed people to be news people. They are your publicists. So it is important. I understand you want to go back to the old school, and I understand if you're doing a special event like you at the symphony, you at this and that, and you do. I understand closing it up. I wouldn't, but I understand it. Okay, for you going on tour though, I'm trying to tell you, people go forget about you. People gonna be like, oh, they on tour, because people don't listen to a lot of times people don't listen to the radio anymore for their things. People watch YouTube, or they'll watch a clip they'll see on Instagram, or they'll see a clip. Oh yeah, oh, that person's on tour, I want to see that. That's how people see things. And unfortunately, this age is different. The young people are different in this age. Their thing is like, when my generation was the radio. We would be listening to the radio, and we hear about our favorites coming in concert, and we'd be like, yay, oh my God, we gotta go to the concert. They don't do that. Theirs is video clips. YouTube. So you as an artist, you think you're going back old school, and you think you're really doing something. It's really not. You really, to me, I think you hurting your tour. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say that because somebody was telling me this week, they was like, oh, they going on tour, I forgot about them. I said, I know you did, because ain't no clips out here. Okay, it is important for you artists to show when you have get your team together. I understand it ain't you. It means that your team is fucking up. Your team should be on it. And no longer can you be the artist that can be distant from it all. Like I was watching the other day, one of my favorite movies is Bohemian Rhapsody, about the story of Freddie Mercury. And you talk about, I mean, everything is in that movie about for all the lessons a celebrity needs to know is in that movie. No longer can you be that entire. You can't be that artist that just stands back and let everybody do everything for you. Now you got to run your thing like a business. You got to come in and make sure that your publicity is on point. You got to come in. It's not that the record companies say they like, I don't want to spend all that money no more. The record companies is kind of a little bit lost in a lot of this too. And they too busy trying to wrap up ways to keep your music and all that stuff because, because they don't know where it's going. They don't know which, but they just want to have ownership of certain things. That's what they trying to wrap up. It's a lot of wild things going on. But as an artist, you better understand how important it is to be the CEO of your business. You can no longer be sitting back and let the A&R rep at the record company do it. They're going to put out my album. You got to bring your team together and say, okay, hey, yo, we got this cruise coming up. Make sure it's out there. Make sure it's public. We do this right. Blah, blah, blah. You got to be that person to see. A lot of celebrities been taught back today to talent, and they just supposed to sit back and just pass. I'm just be vacationing all day and just, understand it and just getting all the love and the limelight and everything. Let everybody else work. You little worker bees work around me. Nope. They're erasing all that. Now it's back. No longer can you be detached and they just come and tell you what to do. Oh my God, it's so sad to see it. It's sad to see it. And you know what I'm saying? You gotta start running. You can be detached, but you better have a hell of a team. A hell of a team. You have got to be more understanding generosity and appreciation. If you do not have it, you do not understand it, it will not work. It's going to start going down. People are going to start seeing you as lacking care and generosity. Okay. And that's why I said about when I was talking about Maxwell's cruise, I said about him, and not to pick on him, but I'm using him. What I said about his cruise is because he has a super fan base. So one thing about Maxwell that you'll know about Maxwell, and you notice this. Listen, Maxwell is not as far as, I don't know. I can't really say record sales. Maxwell is probably not as huge as some big artists are in terms of when you look at the sales. But Maxwell is huge because he has a cult following. He has that's why Maxwell headlines everything. Maxwell can do certain things and stuff, but I think sometimes it's not as good as it should be, because I would say that team is probably not that great. I mean, no offense. It seems like that. I'm getting that as a super fan. When I saw that, the way that cruise was handled, I was like, And I'm looking at the website now. I'm looking at Twitter. I just want to give y'all I'm not to pick on you, but use you as an example. God, I shouldn't do it. I probably shouldn't have gave a name. I probably should have put it under something, but I've already did it. Okay, so hate me if you want to hate on me. Shit, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have put the name out here. I probably should. Okay, but you look at his website right now. Like, who's running this website? Oh my God. I'm like, what is going on? Wow. Here's what let me just say this. You have a fan base that shows up for those cruises, those concerts. That you headline artists it's amazing that that you're headlining. You're a guy who hasn't had an album out in 12 years. Like, your fan base is that great that you headline festivals, you headline tours. You were able to come and take over help for a major artist situation. Wow. Super great fan base, right? you better use it before you lose it. Listen, especially in this age. And you're heading into the older years. Okay. So my personal opinion is that cruise needs to be sold a lot better. Like people should know right now what's going on with the cruise. I've been saying this. I'm pissed. I really think it's bad because I see people every day. This is how good this is. Let me tell you how good his super fan base is. They have a website up themselves. They've put up. That fans have put up themselves, and they go on this website about the cruise that gives them updates on the cruise. Fans have other little chat groups and stuff like that tell them about, oh, this is what we're hearing from Rose Tours. But when you go to Maxwell's website, he still has the old cruise thing up. He doesn't have anything saying, hey, fans, coming soon is a new. That shows lack of appreciation, lack of generosity. It seems like you like, fuck, we got the money from this one. We'll see what happens. I'll let you know when you let you know. You cannot do that today. You keep doing that, you're going to lose your fan base to somebody else. You keep playing those games, it's not going to work. And that's to your people and whoever the fuck else is listening. I keep saying this. That is, these fans are out here guessing. And then you're dealing with black folks. Okay, let me tell you something. When you're dealing with black folks, that's what Essence is learning a hard lesson right now because Essence have not learned. See, black people come down there and hang at Essence. I don't know if they're gonna go to concerts. The sidebar. Let me before, and I'll come back to Maxwell. Essence Festival. One of the things Essence Festival has to realize, they tried to jump too soon into globalism. If people were going to recognize that, I started recognizing it many years ago. I talked about it. I had a whole live where I talked about it. And I said it was going to be interesting to watch the changing of this festival and how black people are going to respond to it. And y'all responded, and it was not good. Last year, Essence was so bad. Essence had a great lineup last year. And it did, and there was tons of videos allegedly with empty seats. Why is Essence suffering so much right now? Well, let me tell you, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, you can't get it. You have to, when you buy into a thing, you can't just change it. You have to understand its branding and its target audience. You have to realize that there's a lot of there's so many other things to do in the summer now. It used to be Essence Festival was the big thing. Now you got Cincinnati Fest. You got cruises. You got all kind of things happening all year long. So nobody has to look forward just to your festival anymore. So how do you maintain being the king? Well, they probably hurt themselves tremendously because that lineup they had last year and they still couldn't make the money. I can't imagine this lineup will do any better. One of the things you'll learn about what is the branding of Essence Festival. Well, when I went to it years ago, like I said, Essence was one of those things that in the Black community that as a young person, you understood it was a generational thing. Essence included lots of like, to me, baby boomers are probably going to still be running Essence a little bit. And then Generation X and then millennials but now they're trying to jump straight to millennials. Millennials don't got no money like that. They got some, but they ain't got it like that. Some of them still living, moving back in with their parents, all kind of stuff. Okay. These are people who make sometimes more cash, but they don't have as good as insurance and everything else. So they're spending money on other things. If you look at the stats about certain millennials. So it's still the same thing. The baby boomers and the older generations have the money, right? And so the festival mostly catered to those, that, and then it would have little, like you'd have the soul lounges and stuff for some of the younger artists, or if you had they'd add a artist. Like I remember seeing Chris Brown at I think it was Chris Brown at Essence Fest one time, and Neo the first time and stuff like that. They were much younger artists at that time. They put them on a night, but they had other headliners with them to lift them up because they normally wouldn't be what that festival went to see, but it would attract some young people if they had the money. It was like, because Essence was aspirational. So the people who own it right now doesn't know that. They don't understand that about the community. Why? Because they're of a different culture. Being Black doesn't make you understanding the Black American community. Okay, so the Black American community is one thing. The one thing you have to understand, it was a cultural event, and it spanned generations, and it was also an aspirational event. I mean, aspiring event, and one you went to when you was like, oh my God, I got the money to go to Essence. It was always classy, always very open. One of the first events where I would say probably where you could see a lot of celebrities were more open. People got to see their favorite celebrities doing interviews. I remember I was at Essence Festival back in the, like, I would go to all the Essence festivals, but I was one where Maxwell, when Pretty Wings first came out with that, I forget which one it was. Shit, Pretty Wings. What was it? Pretty Wings? Shit, I can't remember. Oh yeah, it was the Pretty Wings one. Okay, yeah, and he had a green suit. I remember he had this green suit, and you were walking through the expo, and you just saw him there. I mean, today it's that, but it's not the same. He was there, and then he did an interview. Like, I saw him like two or three times in a day, like, all right, that weekend or whatever. And he was performing, I think, that night or something like that. So I mean, you can see celebrities just walking down about, walking down the highway. You still see it, but it's not it doesn't have that same aspirational feel. People would make this surround their family reunions around the Essence Fest, all kinds of things, because it was a generational thing, but it also was an affluent thing. And it was so people not understanding that branding, and you coming in and trying to cheapen it and do all that, you're not going to attract, you're going to lose the crowd. You have to slowly introduce people certain to things, but you can't change what Essence fundamentally was, and that is why it's losing its brand, because other people have picked up on that and they're using it, like Cincinnati Fest. Even though Cincinnati Fest has been around for a long time in different versions, but if you've been to Cincinnati, it was awesome. I was like, whoa. Only thing I hated was in 2 stages, but other than that, all they gotta do is put a Black Expo or something like that there in their Essence. They might kick your ass out, okay? And then now you have all these cruises and shit popping up. Essence is going to be in trouble because they've lost their function. They've lost the brand. And that festival drove the magazine when the magazine, I believe, had down times. Now you don't know where Essence focus is. Is it the magazine? Is the magazine still important? Or has the magazine just become a part of the whole festival? I remember going to the festival, and they not only selling you when you buy tickets, you get subscriptions to the magazine. You would have t-shirts for the festival. You go in, there was a whole area for Essence. Like, you can buy your bags and everything. Now they just cheapen it. It's just a mess. And they used to give away a lot of stuff. Okay, so yeah, it's not the same. You've messed up the brand. You because you didn't understand what it was, and so you didn't understand how to further it. That's why Carolina, I'm gonna say this, Carolina Wango probably understood that, because she's been over Target and some other things. That's why she's suing them right now. She's suing Essence right now because they tried to make it like she was still a part of it. Now, I personally think Carolina was a part of that problem. She bought into the mess, and she tried to sell it off too as a Pan-African thing. That's my personal opinion about her. Just my personal opinion. When I was down there, I saw her doing some but I think she knew it was a bad idea. And that's why she stepped down, because she started to see the backlash. And that's why she's suing now, because she's saying, you guys, when the ultimate backlash came, you made it still look like I'm the person over this. When, to be honest, if you looked at Rich Leou, since he's purchased Essence and what has happened since, look at the beginning of what the first 6 months of first year was, and all the articles out there about Essence, and he was being allegedly sued left and right for all kinds of things. It was not good, and it hasn't been that good under him. You know, the thing is, if you're going to be that person to buy a magazine, you got, if I go buy a magazine that is beloved in the Latino community, it's going to be because I have a respect for that community and a respect for what they're doing. I'm going to sit back in the cut and let them do what they do. But what Rich Lehu, in my personal opinion, came in and did was super bad. He tried to sun us. He tried to sun Black America, and that wasn't happening. Well, let me add this. Let me show you what the Africa. No, you can't do. We don't need all that. And that's why I felt so. You have to understand those things about service, generosity, understanding customer service brands, all kinds of things when you're running your business, who your target audience is, and what they expect from you. And how long can you get away with certain things? Because listen, like going back to Maxwell and that cruise, okay? Maxwell's people, I will say this. I don't know if nobody listens to me. I don't know, or somebody know Maxwell. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all better get that out to get that cruise right. It's too many cruises out here now. That's bad. I done seen Jamaican cruise. I done seen the Rhythm and Rhyme. I already got their stuff out. I done seen and you're dealing with Black American people. Let me tell you, we gotta have a good 10 months. I'm trying to tell y'all, you can't do what Essence do. That's why Essence flopping all over the place. You can't work. Essence used to announce some of their major artists in December. I've been going to Essence for years. I know that because you know why they did that? Because shit, they understood Black people. They know Black people, even with people with the ones with money, want time to pay for shit. Okay, you cannot be playing games out here with the cruise. You better go ahead and let your fan base know when that fucking cruise is gonna be. We waiting for that. Now I've heard various things. They waiting for the artist to secure it. No, the fuck, it doesn't matter. I don't. You can secure the artist, secure your artist, but what do you not have? That doesn't. Usually that's not a reason for not announcing, because people usually have a secured artist and still announce their dates and stuff. Or at least let their fan base know, hey, it's coming. We're working on this. We're working on that. Maxwell's people do not do a good job of that. And part of that, I think, is because Maxwell has had a brand of mystique. And so when you're so used to being able to go away for 100 years and come back and drop an album and go #1 and shit like that, or #2 or something, you like, I can do this. No, the fuck you can't no more. That's not how it's going no more. It's not doing that no more. It ain't. You can try it. I mean, it might happen. I don't know. You dropped the last couple of singles and it was like, I'm just, people liked it, but they do. It's kind of like, I'm saying that you have to have your people. You got a super fan base who's doing the work for you. How dare you not do the work? I hate that. It irritates me. It irritates me that I'm watching fans go out here saying, oh yeah, we think it's gonna be this date to this date. We talked to Rose Tour. No, the fans shouldn't be doing that. Y'all people should be on that website saying, hey fans, I know y'all excited, y'all looking forward to the cruise, this and that. But I'm gonna tell you what told me that, and as much as I love Maxwell, I keep giving Maxwell another chance I'm giving him another chance with this cruise. I'm giving him another chance. But let me tell you what I hate. When the cruise went off, I said this, one of the biggest things is when the show went out, the last concert, Maxwell went out there to thank everybody. I don't give a fuck that you thanked everybody for coming during your concert set. But fuck, people out here have come. They sit on this big ass boat in the middle of a big ass sea. No, a little ass boat, because it's little to that big ass sea. Risking their lives, everything on this boat. People get sick on boats. People came because of your crew. I like people who say thank you afterwards. Generosity. Hey, I want to just wish y'all safe travels, blah, blah, blah. Thank y'all for another. None of that was happening. I was just like, and I've heard this. I heard this on all 3 of the tours, okay? Girls who like Maxwell, do not write me. You got crushes on Maxwell. You can't write me coming with no bullshit talking about, you got to see what happened. He's stubborn. You got to give him his. No, I don't give a fuck what he is. I'm saying what it is. Okay, as a fan, this is not the shit you want to do, especially with a fan like me. I'll start coming at you. Because I don't like ungratefulness. I spend my money. I be like, listen, I want to feel like shit. You know what I went through to get there? Like shit. Like to get to Miami, I had to pay for a hotel, and a motherfucking cruise didn't leave till 10 that next night. I would have just probably flew in on Saturday, but I flew in the night before because they said it's probably better to flew in the night before. Flew in the night before. I know I had a great time, okay? But shit, you know how much money you have to pay? How much fans go through getting on the plane, getting your and that's a safety. You got to pray. It's just a blessing for people even to get on the plane, and they risking something to do that. Get your bags checked in. You got to take your shoes. Well, you ain't got to take your shoes off no more. You got to do all this. You got to raise your hands up. Let them look through you. Look and see if what you got. What's the fuck? Like if you understood the steps it takes for your customer or your fans or whoever it is to do what they do, then you'd have a lot more generosity and appreciation for that shit. And it wouldn't be just lip service. You would show it and how you run your shit. So yeah, that's what I did not like. I did not like that. I did not like that. And I think that using him as an example and using Essence as an example, I'm using those two as example because one of the things with him is he has a super fan base. Even when I was at Essence Festival last year to see Maxwell, we went to the Maxwell interview session. We met other fans there that, I met other fans there who were super fans that came just specifically to the Essence for Maxwell. When you have that kind of fan base, you do not take them for granted. Fuck, you should be always on it. And that's one of the things I dislike. And I dislike that he did not have enough up about the cruise. Once a lot of people don't still know he has a cruise. He did what did he do? He did it's almost like he didn't even put some AI shit up. It was weird. I don't know what the fuck that was. But it wasn't a thing like it wasn't on all the sites. It wasn't cohesive, like showing performances from the different artists. Artists came out to perform for you. Yes, I know they get paid and all that stuff, but they come out to share in your thing that your name is on. You should have a video clip. You should have a thing or something saying, hey, we had a great time with Kim, blah, blah, blah. You should have internet people there videotaping. Instead, the fans do it. And you know what I think? I'm starting to think that the fans might be doing too much because this did to me, that you think that you don't got to do shit because your fans is doing it all. But that's not true. This is your shit. I mean, like, I can go to one of my family members' birthday parties and stuff like that. Of course, I'm gonna put some pictures up and be like, "Oh, we had a great time at such and such birthday party." One of my best friends, I remember, had was family member now, had a birthday party, and I put up videos and stuff for different things, like for what we did at the birthday party, but nothing like he put up. He had, because it was his birthday. He had all kind of stuff up. We did this, we did that, we did it. It would look odd if I was celebrating his birthday. I just put a little thing like, yeah, we did this. But they had all kind of fun events and stuff like that because it's his party. How the fuck would you let fans outdo you with telling your party? I did not like that. I still don't like it. It still gets under my skin. Y'all see me still talking about it. So I'm gonna give him this year. I'm gonna give him this year to see how if we can be more attacked. But so far, no good because they can't even get they can't even get it out. Like the cruise out. What are they gonna do? Oh Lord, they didn't get. Lord have mercy. They ain't even got the cruise time out when the cruises happen. Shameful. Moving on, but generosity is important in your business. Showing generosity and appreciation creates good energy, good vibes around your business. If you want to see a model of what your business should look like in the age of Aquarius, what it can be like, look to no other than Oprah Winfrey. I'm not saying that Oprah's perfect. I'm just saying look at Oprah for how she moved in her brand and how she still moves. Okay. And understand how Oprah is not even, I don't even know if people call her, people say they fans. People think they friends with Oprah. They like Oprah is their friend. People who really love Oprah. Okay? Because she sold them something bigger than illusion. You know what I'm saying? So it's you get, and she shows she in a weird way, even though there's a lot of problematic, like I said, there's some problematic things with Oprah, but she's human. One of the wonderful things about Oprah's brand that she does show really well is her human side. She's told you about what happened to her as a child. She's told you about being a mother and losing the baby. She's told you about her relationship with Stedman and introduced you to her best friend Gail and all of this stuff. She's very personable. It is a personable brand. Oprah fans feel like they know Oprah. Even with the stuff they don't like about her, they feel like they know it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she's been able to sell she's been able to do a fantastic job of branding herself, understanding her customer base, understanding who her support system is. It was hard for her with the OWN network. And I think even in the end, it was a little hard still, when she sold some of it off. But there still was this idea of trying to move I think personally, and I'd love to have a conversation with Oprah about this, because I wondered when she saw that it was going off her brand, she's like, okay, I'll sell a lot of this off because it doesn't feel like my brand anymore, or whatever. Is my brand being sold 24 hours a day on TV? Does it work in this day and time? I think it would have. I think it just needed something different to do that. I think what Oprah needed was a little bit of balance. Like, to me, if I'm Oprah, this is just my personal opinion, she should have essence. And not from a global point of view. You can't do Africa. You can't say that Africa bullshit. That's what Oprah started messing up too, is dissing her own people and talking about she went out here with the Africans and the Africans understood better. That was not good. But, that was her space. That's what she wanted to do. And I'm not going to diss her for that. Somebody need to raise up in our community and make sure they put focus on Black American girls, because a lot of Black American girls need her help. But she did give lots of money to Spelman and all that stuff. But it just should have been, it wasn't, to me, the relationship that she should have garnered with how she did Black Kid. I didn't like that. That was one of the ways her brand went off course when she started saying, the kids here are too materialistic. And I love Paul Mooney said, bitch, because maybe they seen your show. Hilarious. Oprah's show does have a little brand of materialism to it, right? So yeah. So you guys, that's what I'll say for you guys. Understanding your brand, understanding the value of generosity and appreciation goes a long way. It's a word for the day. All right, you guys. So I really wanted to come on and talk about that. That's, I could wrap the show right up with that. Because that's really important, I think. All right. All right, so let's see what else I want to talk to you guys about here too. Is okay. Daphne Joy and academics. Let's see, should we talk about this for a second? Okay, I want to say this academics background is too. He's not traditional black man. He's a Jamaican background, right? So culturally, we're going to be a little different. But I feel this is a problem with black men, some black men, not all black men, but some black men across the board. Okay, DJ Academics linked up after she said she'd be open to going on a date. DJ Academics talks so, to me, in my personal opinion, I don't usually like him. I usually watch it and listen to some of his show. But he talks so bad about Young Miami. And now he's over here trying to treat this girl like she's some sort of queen. I was like, dude, did you even listen to the transcripts of that case? Oh my God. Any man in his right mind would not be dealing with the likes of Daphne Joy. It's like, are you that desperate? This is a woman who had a man this man was on trial, almost got a RICO case. And if you read her transcripts exclusively, I'm not going to go back over it. I talked about it during the time of the trial. We would come back over here and read. I would read articles and different things about the transcripts and stuff that went on the court. I used to listen to shows every day that read the transcripts, all the transcripts of the court case. So I'm very familiar with what was allegedly, we're going to say on here, allegedly Daphne Joy, because she's still a Jane Doe. So we'll say that, okay? But most people believe it to be Daphne Joy. That was one of those people who went in there and testified against the man she was in a relationship with while she was getting her rent paid too, by her mortgage paid by him. And if you hear the testimony, you hear how she was moving. And you go out there and you have a relationship, you trying to date this girl, you acting like a desperado, like, oh yeah, I would do. I mean, you look bad as a black man. You shouldn't even be able to. There's a desperation. It reeks of desperation. And did you read the court case? I know you was recovering it. Did you read what she did? What she even said? Did you read even some of the things that was implied about her during the testimony? About how she, when she found out, allegedly, we're going to put all that, 20 million Diddy gave $20 million to Cassie, how she came over, had Diddy come over there and picked out an argument with Diddy and hit Diddy. She allegedly hit Diddy. This was allegedly her. Hit Diddy, put his head up against things so she could get, some people thought, so she could provoke him to hit her so she can get some money. The fuck you dealing with? What is wrong with you, black man? You ain't that desperate. God, it makes you look bad. And you got too much money and too much access to be this desperado. What they call women pick-me-shas. You look like a pick-me Marvin. Oh, shit. Say pick a Marvin or some shit. Really? But yet that black woman got harassed about what her get banked. And she wasn't nearly as exposed as this girl. No. It's unbelievable. I just want to say to black men, listen, let me tell you something. You can't go by. I want people to watch the movie about the Atlantic slave trade. Even in Africa, black women were always a very assertive group of women. Black women are dealing with a different culture, different continent, and depending on where black women sit in the world, black men, you're looking at white males and trying to pace yourself after white males. you have to be what you are supposed to be in this space and time, and how you're supposed to head your family in your way. But one of the things Black women have always been known for is strength. And that's just a part of your group. Your group is going to have strength. That's a part of what it is. Your women are going to be different. They're going to be a little bit more masculine. That's something that's happened all over Africa. Even if the men is in charge, there's still a dominance of the black women still hold a certain thing. And I do this to y'all all the time when the phone start ringing. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, but to down Black women and to just be wanting exoticas and all this stuff and not looking at people's character. Not looking at people, y'all will dog Black women, y'all will drag Black women through the street for doing anywhere near a little bit of this kind of thing. But then y'all go back looking like a desperado, ready to wife up this girl who looked like she been out here on the hoe trail. It's crazy. Let me give y'all a minute to think on that while I deal with this. Hold on just a second. You don't keep the same standards. You act like you don't have to have these women, as long as they exactly, they ain't got to have no standards. I mean, it's crazy. But I'm gonna let y'all do what you do is best, okay? Think is best, okay? But she gonna run them pockets. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, she definitely gonna run them pockets. Okay? You're not gonna get to this girl without her running the pockets. All right. And Diddy's a Scorpio. All right. So that tell you what you're dealing with right there. Okay, now there's an interesting thing that's getting ready to come on TV about this rapper. It's supposed to be on the ID channel. That's coming up. Very interesting. Okay, they talking about an aspiring rapper claimed he was a prophet on social media. Then people started going missing. Okay, so that's always these rappers. Who else was it? It was some other rapper that had a whole little cult thing. What's going on with y'all and these cult things? Okay, but this is the story they're gonna have on the ID channel about this. It says New People magazine investigates. Special goes in depth on an alleged online cult that has attracted tens of thousands of followers, some of whom have gone missing. People magazine investigate the University of Cosmic Intelligence, features several interviews with people familiar with the titular group, which was started by Rashad Jamal in 2020. People previously reported that 6 of Jamal's followers went missing from a home in Missouri in 2023 and have not been seen since. What? In 2020, while the United States was simultaneously dealing with the world-altering pandemic and mass protests in the wake of the murder of George Floyd, a man named Rashad Jamal took to the internet. Jamal, an aspired rapper living in Atlanta, began preaching messages targeted at Black and Latino people. His videos focused on identity and appeared to be driven by social consciousness. But as his online following grew, Jamal's message took an outlandish turn. Jamal eventually established the University of Cosmic Intelligence, which claims to be geared towards enlightening and illuminating minds. Meanwhile, authorities have dubbed the UCI a decentralized online cult, attracting followers all over the country. And concern has risen after a group of his followers vanished without a trace in 2023. Okay, so let's look at this this thing so y'all can see.
I always thought that it gave people hope.
Rashad started a social media channel that he called the University of Cosmic Intelligence.
He acts as sort of a spiritual influencer, and he started to build up a following.
He's speaking truth. He's speaking facts on what is going on in his world and how they treat Black people.
But he took it to another level.
I don't see no Latino.
The followers of Rashad Jamal are online, and they could be anywhere in the nation or in the world.
Very concerned about human trafficking, sex trafficking.
Child molestation and cruelty to children in the first degree.
He's not a prophet. He's not divine. He's just loony.
That's the cult that traps my daughter. Said, Rashad Jamal, I got you. I'm going to find you and I'm going to hunt you down.
People magazine investigates the University of Cosmic Intelligence cult. All new special July 14th on IT.
Oh, that looks like it's gonna be good. Okay, y'all. Oh my good. Let me tell y'all something. Okay, one thing you gotta understand about a cult, they start doing crazy stuff. Cults always, it isn't that these people don't sound good at first. That's why you always got to keep your own mind about yourself. Even when you go into church, you got to keep your own mind and stay in the word and stuff and read for yourself. Because listen, and read with understanding for yourself, not understanding you just understanding, but read and understanding like you studying. Okay. The Bible says study to show thyself approved. Okay. You have to, you can't just listen to everybody. People can start out talking a real good game. I mean, that's classic devil. They start talking a real good game, but it's the details. I used to hear Brian Keith Williams say it's the details that make the difference. It's the details that make the difference. Okay. It's the little things. Okay. It's the little crazy things. When like Jim Jones, when you saw somebody put two old people in allegedly what happened to Jim Jones church, that they had two old people in the ring fighting. When you start hearing about the preacher going with men and women and he married, you know you got some issues. You know you need to quit. You might need to go on and back up. Okay. You know, you might need to go ahead and back. I remember I was going to this church when I was living in Tulsa, right? And my friend, I love my friend Tiff. She is a comedian. She's a woman of God, but she's funny too. And so she was sitting in church with us one Sunday. And this our particular church used to be really popular, but it was going through the head of the church was going through, and they was changing their beliefs on a lot of stuff and everything, and it wasn't sounding right to a lot of the people who been in church, you know, who been there and stuff. And so he said something crazy. Listen, my friend Timmy was like, I said, we went to go next Sunday to get her. She said, I said, where you? I said, you going to church? She said, yeah. She said, but not where y'all going. I'm going over here to such and such. I said, why? She said, girl, all I needed to hear him say was that last week. It was time for me to exit. She had played no game. She said he started to get crazy, and it was true. He still started to get crazy. So at some point, when people start to get crazy, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You got to know that's the game in life. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. You got to know. Okay? You got to know that. Listen here. Is that the word that got two old people fighting in the thing? Wait a minute. You supposed to be sleeping around? When you start seeing that kind of stuff, you got to go before you be in a cult. Okay, I'm just trying to tell y'all. Go, okay. You know when you start seeing stuff, your spirit being started being like, this don't seem right. Like I saw a whole thing on a cult in a Mormon cult or whatever on one of these, I think Netflix channel, or whatever, and it was so many warning flags. But a lot of these people needed places to stay and food to eat. It wasn't that they was that dumb. It was that they needed a place to stay, some of them. You know what I'm saying? And it caught them up in some bad circumstances, okay? You gotta be really careful with this stuff. You gotta be really careful, especially when it comes to these people with these spitting all kind of stuff on the internet. Some of them is slow. I have read it right now, and I'll be like, I couldn't even listen to the person no more because they be talking so crazy. I mean, when they was trying to tell me how Bruno Mars was who is it? Was she supposed to be Bruno Mars? Was it Sojourner Truth? You know because y'all know me. I entertain. My motto is I entertain bullshit. I listen to you. That don't mean I will believe you, right? But when I start hearing this, and when they start telling me, people was acting like they was dead, they was really in another. I said, well, do you got some proof of this? Because next thing, it's a lot of unbelievable things in this world. This world is a twilight zone. I believe that. But truth is often stranger than fiction. But do you got some proof? Do you got me something that make me rise my eyebrows and say, okay, yeah, this possibility that, somebody acted. If you ain't got no intriguing proof for me, well, then at this point, I'm starting to think you Lulu. I'm starting to think you Looney Tunes, okay? And they just start getting loonier and loonier. I said, what in the world? So, like, what they tell me somebody was who? Somebody was Dorothy Dandridge. I said, wait a minute, hold on. They talking about, no, they done turned into Dorothy Dandridge. I said, really? It's people on the internet teaching this? And they even told me, what they tell me, a lot of people have become clones. I said, I can buy that. I'll buy you some clones, buy that, maybe set some clones around here. I said, but you just got to have some proof. I ain't going to waste my brain power on nothing I can't really see. Proof of, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying there ain't no clones out here. I'm saying that you gonna go crazy. It like really, if and they told me people was lizards and all kinds of stuff. Hey, I'm not against that. I'm not against you. But like I said, I entertain bullshit. But the problem is I don't let it stay. If you ain't got no proof and nothing like that, you ain't got nothing that's intriguing me to go like, maybe that could be possible. But when you just sitting here telling me something, heard some nut on the internet say, Tupac was really somebody, I forgot, and they alive right now and they playing this person. I think they told me Maxwell was a clone. Janet was really Michael. It was all kind of shit. Listen, I was like, listen, baby, you need to go. Listen, at this point, you need to quit listening to people because what's going on is really you letting them replace something going on in your life, and they make you crazy. Okay, this is not healthy. It's just like with the entertainment industry. Do I believe there's something strange happening in the entertainment industry? Of course. Because you can see it there. You can see symbolisms being thrown up and all kind of stuff, pictures. You can go pull up a number of celebrity pictures. Now the question is, I don't know if it's what you mofos are saying. I don't know if they in a $20 million club. I don't know if they got to have some sacrifices. I don't know. Y'all make intriguing arguments. I'm not saying that's not. Listen, people have made intriguing arguments for shit like that. We have seen the practices of black magic occult, but black magic and all kinds of stuff. So there is kind of some proof that they might be out here doing some. In the entertainer world has always kind of tried to dip in some shit. They, when they can't really do it, they try to do it through magic and shit like that. And the devil was always kind of played over in that field because it's easy to sell off illusion. So I'm not surprised by that, but it's just some of the stuff y'all be selling off about people is wild. Okay. But do I think Jay-Z and Beyonce and the Illuminati? Hell no, they ain't got that much power. But do I think Jay-Z and Beyonce could be puppets? Of course. Yes. I mean, that's just the idea of this is the way of the world. Sometimes celebrities are used as social engineering, which brings me to my next story. Okay. Listen, people, you have got to understand that celebrity will often be used to social engineer your children. Okay. And I'll get to the BET Awards in a minute, y'all. But that happens. Okay. They're talking about North. This is a lady, Helena Fernandez. You guys can go check her out on Instagram, but she's talking about how different the kids at different ages look now versus back then, these celebrity kids. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all listen to her what she has to say real quick.
Y esta es Zendaya con la misma edad. Pero bueno, tenéis lo mismo con la hija de Beyoncé, aquí tenéis a Taylor Swift, tienen la misma edad. Y aquí lo mismo, la hija de los Beckham y Miley Cyrus. No son solo los hijos de los famosos, esto lo estamos viendo todo el día en todas partes, niños haciendo de adultos. Yo sé que para vosotros os parece una tontería que una niña se comporte como una adulta, se vista como adulta, pose como adulta, pero no es una adulta, no tiene los suficientes recursos para afrontar ese tipo de cosas. Ella imita a las adultas, se viste como tal, posa como tal, pero no tiene los recursos para afrontar la sexualización.
Okay, let me get y'all a part y'all can understand. Okay. Okay, let me get it up. I got y'all the wrong one, huh? Okay, so a lot of people, y'all, have been talking about Northwest and how she looks. I listen. Northwest is a celebrity kid. Kim was talking about this week about how she tries to let her express herself and everything. My grandmother was big on that kind of stuff, but my grandma had boundaries. She like, wait a minute, you still a kid, you know what I'm saying? But listen, they've been showing this, and listen. People have been showing Blue Ivy and Northwest, 2 kids born into fame. This is from ninth level tribe, okay, and raised by 2 family parents. So what's going on here? And so people are showing how grown these kids look, okay. I always said that I mean, some kids grow up. I was an old kid. I was not. I really didn't hang around. I didn't really, I wasn't childish. I didn't play. I became adult. I liked adults more when I was young than I did kids. Okay, I played with kids, but I liked adults more. I really I was always an old child, but you don't have to look like this. I still play with kids. I still had this and that. I'm looking at Northwest, and remember, these are celebrity kids, but they're also trying to social engineer your kids because they keep putting them out in public. So they want your kids to defy you, so that at 13 they can start wearing all kind of hair, and it's also stuff you can't afford. As a parent, you like, shit, you ain't got money to be getting your kids' hair done all like blue North and fake eyelashes and stuff. That Beyonce's daughter is too young, and North is both too young to have face full of makeup. I've said this, and I often compliment Jay-Z and Beyonce, but lately I haven't been. And what makes me think Jay-Z and Beyonce is having a hard time is because with each other is because Blue Ivy go everywhere with Jay-Z, not where Beyonce should be going. I'm like, when the kid is taking up the slack, that means something else going on, but not in my business. Listen, these kids are too young. This doesn't mean your kids have to be like this, and you have to let your kids explain your kids that this is different. These are celebrity kids, and their parents are trying to use them as part of their branding. These are business deals. They kids is wearing makeup and all this stuff because this is part of branding and business. You not a celebrity kid. You gonna enjoy your 12-year-old and 13-year-old little life. Enjoy being a child. Northwest Kim. North does not, in my personal opinion, look healthy. And a lot of that is sometimes, and it's not the blue hair. It's not none of that. It just seems like there is a jump into a lot of things that I don't know if she should be understanding at this time in her age. It seems like there's a jump into goth, punk rock. She's 13. She's 12. I don't know. I do know that you parents do not have to do what you see Kim and them doing. These are part of branding and to get y'all to keep y'all talking about them. Same thing with Blue Ivy. Blue Ivy is no different. She is a part of the Jay-Z and Beyonce brand. Whenever Beyonce and Jay-Z get in trouble, they tote Blue Ivy out here. No offense, I've been seeing that lately. Jay-Z and Beyonce, they will tote Blue Ivy's ass in a minute. So y'all won't ask no questions about some hard questions. Here, Blue Ivy over here. Oh, and the Kardashians, well, they'll just, they just keep them rolling out. Okay. So, don't let your kids be compared to these people. Okay. This is social engineering on high levels. They promote them out in public because it creates some dynamics with your kids at 12 and 13. Blue Ivy got the fake of makeup. Why can't I have a full face of makeup? Blue Ivy wear, because Blue Ivy is mama's Beyonce. And they selling her off for some reason. They got some sort of branding they doing with her. You not doing that. You going to school. You going to school at the high school. You wear a little lip gloss or something like that, but you ain't walking around here with no full face of makeup and your titties up. Okay, you 12. Can I say them? Y'all know that outfit was too damn grown too. I don't care how tall and pretty she is. Damn, she's too young. Out here looking like a grown ass woman. I don't know what it's too grown. Okay, some of it's too grown. Okay, it is. I mean, and little lip gloss and stuff like that at 12 and 13, and you're supposed to sneak. That's what kids used to do at my school. They used to sneak. You sell some respect to your mom. You go to school and then put the makeup on. You wash it out after school. But you both folks want to walk out your house with a whole full of makeup. You understand that there are people in the world who mistake that. Men will start treating you like women before time. The first time I remember I wore my hair pressed, that's when the first time I realized, I might be pretty. Because I used to wear like my little pigtails and stuff like that, and I wouldn't know it had anything to do with my hair, but it was like I didn't look like a woman, I just looked like a little kid. And I remember the first time, because I used to have really beautiful long hair, so I remember the first time I wore my hair pressed and walking to the store. I was so scared because so many men were whistling. I was like, oh my God, I'm just 13. And I didn't have no makeup. I just had my hair pressed because I think it was Easter or something. And it was my first time. My grandma allowed me to wear my hair down and pressed and really pretty. I was like, me and my friend went to the church. She was like, oh my God. It was people whistling. I was like, wow. And I realized that it made me look older. It made me look like a woman. But my grandma didn't let me wear my hair like that all the time. So I probably got into junior high. And then I could start wearing curls. I wore a curl and press and stuff like that. But that really taught me something. It was like, wow. So sometimes the attention you garner because you look old. And sometimes people don't know that. And that puts you in a position as a child. That puts your child in a position to have to make decisions they shouldn't have to make. Like it gives your kid, you have to be careful of that. You have to, I can see for special events and stuff like that, but it puts your kid to looking grown and now they have to deal with men flirting with them and telling men they not this age. And as a young girl, you're going through sexual things too and changes. So you might have a little crush on one of the older men trying to flirt at you. That's why I say, parents, be careful. Do not let these people social engineer how you should treat your kids. That doesn't mean you can't. Don't be extra strict because you're going to create that anyway. You got to create a flow and a space for your child to be able to come talk to you. But you also have to be able to put boundaries with your children. Yes, self-expression is important, but boundaries and rules are too. Boundaries and rules show that you care. Okay, so that's what I say on that. All right. BET Awards. Y'all ready to talk about this? Let me just talk about it. You know what? I'm gonna say this, okay? I realized that the golden age for Black people, Black American people, was the early part of the 19th century, the Harlem Renaissance, probably through the late 80s. I can't give it to the 90s because the 90s was actually copying off of soul music from before, okay? But that was the Renaissance. That was what's happening now. I don't know. It is, okay. I mean, we just gotta pray. I mean, I'm gonna just be honest. We gotta pray because it's a mess out here. It's a mess, which I'm seeing musically. What I'm seeing, it just ain't good. Just not good. Okay. This weekend at the BET Awards, I hope I got Dame Dash. So I need to play Dame Dash, what he said, which was very interesting. Hold on. Okay, see if I can put this up. Okay. Dame Dash lets BET know in their face that they ain't got no control. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this in just a minute, but let's talk about I'm gonna talk about the award show. I thought this was one of the most well-produced shows ever. I actually enjoyed watching the production of it. I didn't like the acts that much. Okay, the highlight of the show was the D'Angelo tribute, and I really wish Maxwell would have did something. That would have been so cool to see Maxwell do a D'Angelo song or something. That would have been the coolest shit ever. I did love. No, one thing can I say this about Maxwell? I really loved when he had the one tribute to him, and he had that microphone out there or whatever when the song played. But I would have loved to see Maxwell do a tribute to D'Angelo. That would have been hot. Like him sing a song. That would have been hot. I would be like, what? that would have been dope. I think people at the BET Awards would have loved that. Okay. Okay, let's start about it. Lauryn Hill, y'all gave a tribute to Lauryn Hill, the two albums. I'm gonna give the Fuji album. 2 album and a possible artist. Okay. I'm not calling Lauryn Hill no icon. I said what I said. Now I heard a little bit more humility in her voice. I did hear a little bit more humility when she got there. I didn't hear that shit that I normally been hearing. I heard some humility, and I appreciate it. Now, Lauryn does like to mix it with a little bit of preaching because Lauryn like to hide behind the preaching. I understand because I'm a spiritual person. When you do that, you start hiding behind the preaching. See, y'all got here, we all this, and so they won't see really the bullshit going on there. Okay, Lauryn, put your ass out of album. Okay, it's been a long ass fucking time. It's a long time. Okay. It's been a long, long ass time. The kids is talented. They all beautiful. Let me shout out to Lauryn Hill. The kids are beautiful. Oh my God. And the little beautiful girl that came out there and sang her mama's song. She was so nervous. That's okay, baby. Keep doing it. You are gorgeous. And you got a voice. I can hear that. Sometimes nerves take over. Okay. But oh my God, beautiful. Yeah, she's a beauty. She's beautiful. They beautiful family. Lauryn, you have a beautiful family. They are beautiful. Okay. Lauryn, I still don't buy you. I said what I said about Lauryn Hill. I'm not changing it. Okay. Till the new album come out, I don't change. I was impressed with the kids. Shout out to the new generation. Hill Marley collaboration, but Lauryn Hill herself, it was nice. It's nice for y'all to and to hear her talk. She sounded a little bit more humble. But girl, you need to quit singing that song talking about our philosophy. What did she say on that rap? Slash, you can't mess with this actress slash rapper. What movie have you played in beside Sister? Girl, I don't want to hear no more. Okay, Lauryn Hill, no more. I like the dress though, Lauren. This dress was better. This dress was nice. Okay, I liked it. I'm gonna give you. Somebody been telling Lauren. What? Somebody been out here. This is my energy flowing. Somebody's like, she realized now maybe I don't need to wear the big old buff on. Lauren, those dresses make you look older than you are. The way you're wearing your makeup and your hair makes you look older than you are. I like your hair, but it's the makeup, I think, that's making you look old. You are looking old. I don't know if you're trying to sell some message you trying to put out here. I don't know the fuck I don't know what it is, okay? But the whole image is a hot fucking ass mess, and it seems overly deep. I'm still getting overly deep, I'm still thinking a little bit, probably there's a reason you may have some my personal opinion, it looked like I can't diagnose nobody, but you know what I'm saying? It looked like something else is going on. I don't know, okay? But I like the kids. The kids was awesome, okay? I love me some Lauryn Hill, but I got to tell the truth. I'm not going to back up what I said about Lauryn Hill. I think all the excuses in the world, and but you got time for touring and no time to make no new album. I don't think she should have. I don't know if I would have gave her that Icon Award. I mean, I would have gave Miseducation for one of the greatest albums, maybe some sort of Miseducation award. But Lauryn Hill, yeah. I'm mad. Yes, I'm bitter. What are you bitter about? She left, Lauren, you left us to the likes of. You know who you left us to the likes of. Now everybody around here wearing leotards. You created an imbalance in the music business. You created an imbalance. Now the little girls, they look up to you, but they literally don't look up to you. They look up to you because of that one album, but they really don't. They look up to leotards. And you was the girl that was given sensuality, sexuality, but with values and ethics and morals and beauty. Oh, the fuck. And then you just went and I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know what's happening. And you left us to the leotards. Alicia tried to come up and help us, but they sabotaged her ass. They took her ass. Her ass ain't been the same since. She ain't been. I don't know what she doing. Ain't nobody been able to recover, Lauren. You can't even hurt the little hurdle tried. It's still not working. It's still a place full of leotards and half singing ass people, and it was your fault. You had a message to give, values and ethics and morals and things to think about, even though you a little shady, shady as shit yourself. But that's what the shady often can tell how to not get no mess. It's the shady that know. It's the woman who tell you to stay out of hoeing who was a hoe. They know that why they telling you to stay out of hoeing, because they've been there and done it. You know what I'm saying? Lauren got a message, and Lauren, she left us here. I'm bitter. I'm mad at her. Yes, I'm mad. I'm mad. I don't see these girls running around in leotards and half-ass singing the same, trying to sound. You left us to a Beyonce sister, the Beyonce world. We need balance in the fucking world. We need some fucking balance. Yeah, I know. I didn't go out. I need to be. I hit myself every day when I see all these acts. I'd be like, the fuck is going on? I could have easily. Came out here. I blame myself too, but I blame Lauren. Lauren was already there. She was already doing it. And she let them run her out of town. You let them devils run you out of town. And there's no excuse for that. No excuse. There's no excuse, Lauryn Hill. So I gotta talk about how ratchet you are. I gotta talk about how you running and hiding behind bouffant dresses and them telling you that you the icon of the year. Bullshit. Ain't no icon with no one album and impossible, 2 albums and impossible shit. Okay. Potential unfulfilled. Who should be on Unsung? Lauryn Hill. That's what the award she should have got. Unsung. Till I see. And don't be hiding behind them babies either. Don't put them babies out there and you trying to hide and go away. Girl, until you get in that studio, locked down and give somebody an album, get out here and minister and preach. You wanted to preach the other night because you got it in you. You a spiritual girl. You wanted you had so much you wanted to give them. But because you so locked up and whatever the fuck going on in that Gemini head of yours, you locked up and tied up and all that, you can't give it to them. Loosen the fuck up and get out here and give it to them. Oh, she making me mad. Oh, she making me irritable. She need a friend like me. She need me. Because I tell the truth. I be like, girl, quit the bullshit. She said, because this world is blah, blah, blah. I said, girl, shut that bullshit up. Are you going to get out here and make an album work? Are you going to confront the problems in the world? You going to confront the power like you used to do? Or are we going to sit here and talk shit all day? Okay, that's all I got to say about Lauryn Hill. Where you at, girl? Okay, because I got a lot. I ain't finished, really. I ain't going to even talk about how you been biting off the Island Boys. You know what I'm saying? Because you like them Island Boys. They got that energy. I understand, Lauren. But you can't keep siphoning the energy out them Island dudes. Okay, shit. The fuck, where you at? And siphoned all that energy out them boys. Even creating babies with them. Creating baby with one of them. Siphoning energy. Siphoned that Marley energy excellently. Oh, Lauryn Hill funny to me. I'm done. But they gave Lauryn Hill a tribute. It was nice. Okay, moving on. It was SZA out there. And where was all the big people? This is where Beyonce and people like that. Nah, never mind. No, you shouldn't. She got who she was. That's what it was, right. Who was out there. Good for you. I don't know who Ray's 17 second no was. She sounded good the second song. The first song, when we heard it through the television screen, it didn't sound good. I could tell it sounded better live, okay? Listen, young lady, you can put on that black dress. It's too many of y'all coming out of Europe with the same sound, okay? I love me some Corinne Bailey Rae, but y'all all little mini Corinne Bailey Rays are mini, what's the girl? What's the other girl? The one who died. Amy Winehouse's. She looked just like the fuck Amy Winehouse. Girl, you gotta do something else. I don't know the fuck. I don't know what you gotta do, but you look a lot like her. And you kind of trying to sound like her. I don't know. They trying to sell your ass off. They really trying to sell you, but it feels inauthentic. Whatever I'm seeing feels inauthentic. I didn't buy the dress. I didn't buy none of it. I was like, it's cute. It was a great song, whatever. But it's a lot of you girls sound the same. Like, I love me some Olivia Dean, but is she like little Corinne Bailey Rae? I don't know. You know, it's a lot of y'all all sounding the same. Now, y'all can't fuck with Adele. I know y'all ain't trying to get in that Adele space, right? Well, all y'all out here, I'm seriously. I'm getting bored. I'm feeling like you overdoing the sound. It's a lot. And then they already try to sell me off this African girl, Tyler, who just ain't hitting the mark. I think she's probably a cute little model or something. Really should be more a model. Maybe getting some film and stuff like that. You know, sometimes, you know, look, Cassie 2.0. Janet gave the award to Tiana Taylor and they are definitely pushing Tiana Taylor, but Tiana Taylor's been out here for years. I love the way Tiana Taylor responded to Janet, how she gave her so much love. let me shout out to Tiana Taylor because she respects people who have come before her. And there is an awe and a respect there. And I love that. How much love she gave Janet and how she was more excited for Janet being there than anything else. It was just a beautiful thing because a lot of these artists come up there and they forget to thank the other icon that done presented them an award. They forget, they don't even know what to say. They just so busy in they self. It's just, I love that moment for her. And it really said a lot about her. Okay. So yeah, I like that. That was funny where Keke Palmer, y'all have finally succeeded in selling off Keke Palmer. They've tried to sell, there's been 5 cycles where they tried to sell Keke Palmer off. Let me let y'all understand there's something today, okay? And no offense to Keke, okay? Keke, I'm not trying to diss you, but this is the truth. They have been working really hard to sell. You could tell people they've been working. First cycle, they tried to sell Keke Palmer years ago. Remember, she was showing up on the Oprah Winfrey show, and she had a little talk show. It failed tremendous. It did not do well. Okay, and they was like, because it's something about these powers that be that they like. No offense, Keke, it seems like they can run you. So they like to like to keep pushing people, pushing till y'all finally just like, dang, we give and we accept. And Keke is that person, okay? Keke, they had the other cycle they pushed Keke in was another podcast cycle. It's been like, then they had her at the Essence Fest interviewing people like Michelle Obama, all kind of people and stuff like that, trying to push her. But then she fucked it up. She like a Virgo, Virgo get too perfectionist. And then she came and fucked it up with the boy. She got pregnant, and then she had all that controversy around her and stuff like that. And they almost fucked up because y'all didn't like the way she responded with her man and stuff. But then they was able to bring her back this cycle, and this cycle is finally working for her. And that's all I'll say on that. Cardi B performed. She did good. SZA and Doechii. Drewski was different. He was good. He was funny. I will say it was a production more so than anything. The acts, the entertainment itself old people, let me tell you out here, if you're still doing music and you're an older person, don't let nobody push you out the game. And shut up telling people they too old to be in the game. Creative people never stop working. They work until my grandmother is a singer right now. She still go to her church sometime and sing. And she 90-some years, still singing. Don't tell people that. Shut up. And sometimes old people can't get out the way because you young people still got a lot to learn. It's obvious you motherfuckers still got a lot to learn. I mean, they try to kill out the old people. You need the old crowd. Y'all needed some old people there and old spirits there last night. It was horrible. Beyonce and Jay-Z, let me say something. This is the shit your people miss. You and Jay-Z need to do something out the box. Something unusual. You trying to play that distant game too. That shit ain't gonna work for y'all. Jay-Z's out here trying to sell stuff. But Beyonce, I don't know what's going on for it with you. I don't know if they ain't wound you up enough, if you ain't got enough juice to get out here and do the robot. But listen, you and Jay-Z should have hosted the BET Awards. You know how dope that would have been? No, not with Blue Ivy. Blue Ivy need to be sitting her ass in the audience at home with her brothers and sisters. But you as a couple, that would have been so cute. Not like the Smith family. The Smith family's already done it. You two as a couple. You know how much that would have shut down some shit. But y'all motherfuckers keep doing y'all whoever y'all people is, they really don't believe in y'all. I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's my personal opinion. My personal opinion is the people have really the reason Beyonce has been sold as my personal a hype machine because the people never believed in her. So they kept doing stuff to hype her instead of just letting her naturally evolve. They kept hyping her. And it's the same thing now with them as a couple. They don't really believe in their power. They try try to do things that, we don't want them exposed. No, they should have been last night hosting the BET Awards. They need to get out of their box. That would have been fun to see even though I love Drewski doing it, but it would have been fun to see Jay-Z and Beyonce do it one year. And to see a natural energy among them. Putting yourself out there differently. It's the age of Aquarius. Y'all better learn, okay? And they already coming to eat y'all. They're coming to eat y'all up. But your people need to think outside the box. They keep trying to get y'all to do the same contrived shit. And nobody's buying it as much anymore, okay? And Beyonce should have presented that award to Sylvia Rome. Not Kelly. I like you, Kelly. But Kelly, you shouldn't have presented it. It should have been. Matter of fact, Janet Jackson could have presented that award to Sylvia Rome. Kelly could have did that for whatchamacallit, because Sylvia Rome, y'all don't understand. Sylvia Rome is probably the biggest Black female executive in that's ever been in the record business. Right up there with Clive and them. Sylvia Rome has had her hand on a lot of successes in the music business. To me, she should have had some of the biggest artists in the world. No offense, Kelly, you probably Destiny Child, but I don't see you like that. In Vogue should have been out there. All you motherfuckers should have showed back up. Don, you should have got the fuck out your car, and all y'all come together and y'all could have presented that. And some of her greatest artists should have been standing up there to present her award. Where the fuck y'all did Kelly rolling up at? No offense, Kelly. I like you. Kelly's really pretty, but Kelly, I'm in acceptance of Kelly being Beyonce's armor bearer. I've come to that acceptance. I'm cool. She can put more records out. It just is what it is. I don't think it'll do nothing. I'm sure it'll generate a hit or two, but it's just, I put her in her place. Like, it's Destiny's Child, a couple of movies here and there, and to be a cheerleader for Beyonce. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you a cheerleader for your best friends, your besties, and that's what you're good at. And you got other talents, and you can dip in them. But your main thing is to be this source of encouragement and stuff. To be honest, I understand this. So I don't expect a lot. So I don't want her to present it to Sylvia Rome. I like her, but I think that if y'all was gonna do it, present to Sylvia Rome, the whole Destiny Child should have been out there. You know what I'm saying? Or even Beyonce and Michelle, okay? Or because Sylvia Rome's that big. Or y'all should have went, and like I said, in Vogue, y'all should have got y'all asses together, and Don, you get the fuck about your car to present Sylvia Moore award. Okay, let me stop. But Sylvia Rome, I think y'all need to read about her. She's one of the big people. And listen, let me tell you something. A lot of these people in the music business, like Clive Davis this week, it was a lot of controversy about Clive Davis, okay? I'm not excusing record executives' behavior, okay? I've heard all kind of stories, even about Sylvia Rome. I mean, people, but listen. I don't know if you would have had the thing in music that you would have without a Clive Davis. You wouldn't have got Whitney. If Clive did, I understand there's problematic things with Clive. I get it. You wouldn't get Bad Boy era. You wouldn't have got some of the great parts of Aretha and Luther's career. There are so many things that Clive put his hand to. Whether how he did it, I read Hitmen and all that stuff. Whether you disagree with how he did it or not, he was a very huge part of the Black music experience. And I'm sure we're going to dissect for years and years his effect on it, his thing. But I gotta give Clive his, props. He created a lot of Black artists and gave them a lot of leverage in the business. I wish it would have been leverage business-wise and smarter-wise, but he did. And Clive has had his hand on some greats, okay? So it is what it is, okay? on that note. It's like I always laugh. I say we talk about I was watching the story of the documentary of the Murdochs a few months ago, and when people do great feats, it's always listen. There will always be controversy about the ethics behind things, the values, because when you choose something big to do something big and build something, even from people who are not so great, sometimes people are used to bring about great things in the world, even if they're not great. Okay. So I'll leave it at that. And, maybe we'll do a greater discussion about that at another time. But yeah. Okay. But yeah, the BET Awards, yeah, great production. But I think I think I think the acts are going. This is the way of the business. It's not good. The music wasn't good that I saw. A lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it. Okay. Okay, let's talk about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And if y'all having this gaudy wedding at Madison Square Garden, I knew they were going to get married. I said this from the beginning. At the first, I didn't think she was going to date him, but when she started to date and mess around with him, I predicted marriage because I just saw the way it was going. But if you're doing this is from the Craig Archer show. Okay, so I want y'all to hear what he's talking about with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce wedding this weekend.
When a lot of people come to New York City, they don't want anybody within a 3 or 4 block radius of Madison Square Garden because this is like a royal wedding now. They think they're worthy of not just having a wedding at Madison Square Garden, but also shutting down New York City for their wedding, which none of us are invited to. How about we don't shut down any street in New York City?
Have your own security around the building.
You're going to enter the garden from beneath it anyway, which is very secure.
So are your guests.
And that's it. So you want to tell the local pizza place on July 4th weekend, where he's going to sell a lot of slices of pizza. Nah, not this weekend. Travis Kelce's getting married to Taylor Swift. If you already didn't like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, now you've got an extra reason not to like them. They filed the permit request to close the streets for their wedding.
Wow.
Their wedding is July 4th weekend. When a lot of people come to New York City, they don't want anybody within a 3 or 4 block radius of Madison Square Garden because this is like a royal wedding.
I'm told by some New Yorkers that Madison Square Garden is not that, people say that's not that busy sometimes around that area during that weekend or something like that because people are going out to lakes. I don't know, but this sounds gaudy. It sounds fake. It sounds all kinds of things. Oh my God. It sounds red flag. You guys can get married anywhere in the countryside, have big old things. You can do all Madison Square Garden, sis. So I know they said Taylor Swift has had a lot of big things, but still, it just seems gawky. But it made me realize something about Travis and Taylor. Because I like Travis and Taylor, but it made me re-look at that interview and rethink about that interview and things that were bothering me. I mistook her intelligence for maturity. I really get right now that she's very young compared to probably Travis and Travis's head. What she does to hide her lack of maturity is use intellect. I've really got that about her now. When I had to go back and I was like, okay, there's a lot of intellect hiding that I am really a young girl who's really not sure. I really don't know. I'm really this and that. And here's this guy who's got the edge of a black guy, who's got all these things and stuff like that. And he looks like a great time, and it's probably turned her out. I've already gave that my warning signs, okay? When a man that's done nothing but date black women before you, be careful. Just because he got tight. You know what I'm saying? That's why I used to always be suspicious of guys who would like me and I didn't fit their type range. I'd be like, wow, that's real strange. Why are you liking me like that? I don't fit your type thing. You have to make sure they really like you, and it's not a momentary thing of some need they have in their life or something. You have, and plus I have the ability to. I'm a spiritualist, so I have this ability of healing and encouragement and stuff like that. And sometimes people can be attracted to that and not really me. Me I'm different from the encouragement and stuff like that sometimes I get comes from God. You know what I'm saying? But me as a person is a different, it's the same person, but I'm also understand I'm a vessel at times. And then I'm a person. I have my own little ways and things about me and stuff like that, So you got to make sure people are attracted to the right, not just that, but a lot of things about who you are overall. And that concerns me about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I'm concerned. I wish him luck, though. Okay. And to get married in Madison Square Garden just reeks. Ugh. Tacky. Okay, I will say it. I'm sorry, John. I'm going to say it. All right, let's talk about what Damon Dash told BET in their face. Oh, my God, it's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to let y'all hear this.
I think there's money to be made, but it's not enough money for us to do what we want. And this moment, BET ain't owned by nobody black. So, we still making money. It's providing a platform for people like you.
What's up, everybody? This is the world famous Ed Lover, and you are watching Forgotten Kings TV. That's right, Forgotten Kings.
This is what we want to do. I'm saying, you don't think we make the money? I think the money is being controlled for now. So I think there's money to be made, but it's not enough money for us to do what we want. In this moment, BET ain't owned by nobody black. So, we still making money. It's providing a platform for people that today. So you're right. There's money for those that are employed by them. There's money for those that will listen to what they say. But if you have an opinion, they're not cutting that check, bro. And that's true. If we're working for people that don't care about our culture and only want to exploit it, they're not going to do anything to give us the key to freedom. They're going to keep making us think we're successful when we're not. If you can't retire and look at money, if your grandkid doesn't have to work, then you broke. It's not enough money. It's money to survive. But it's not money that you could look at and your family is third generation and only donates money for a tax write-off like they do. How many artists and entertainers even know about a family office? Because they don't make enough money to have one. No one teaches them about capital gains.
And I think Damon is saying that, and this is from shout out to Forgotten Kings TV I got this footage from. Damon is saying that yes, BT, you're getting money, but your narrative is being controlled. You feel that energy in the world right now. They are picking people that they're not picking the best talent to me. There's tons of talented people on the internet, tons of talented singers. The reason why you can't get no star. I saw a girl on BT the other night singing. She was dressed all up, but she was beautiful, but she didn't give me no star. The star energy just wasn't there. And they've been really selling her off. But the reason you're not getting those stars because they used to search for these people in the stars. Don't just personalities and stuff don't just be out there always in Hollywood. Sometimes you used to find them in the church house singing on Sunday morning, or you find them at the juke joint singing. You know what I'm saying? It used to, but now they are getting people that they can control, that have some talent, and they can control narratives, and old talent that they can control narratives through. They can control your narrative. You can feel the usurping of creativity, because there is now, it's like, do it our way, because we have social engineering to do. We have a way we want society to go and look, and we're using you, the celebrity and the artist, to help us manipulate the public towards that. And there are a lot of sellouts who want to do that for fame and money and fortune. And it often leaves us in a space of wondering, how can we do it? That's what Lauryn Hill's really struggling with. I believe that she's struggling with as a spiritual. She doesn't want them to control the narrative of whatever she brings out. But like I said, she can do it on there's so many ways she can do it. You know, you don't have to do it through the record company anymore. Same thing with you guys today. You maybe you don't get as much money. You won't get as much money as a BET network, but you've been called to start a little radio network in your community that's thriving in your community, where they can't control the narrative in some ways. Don't worry about it being BET. If that's what you called to do, do it from your space and your time and your atmosphere. Do what you can, because that's how you're gonna get your message. The thing is getting your message out there, getting your anti-message to these people out there. They want to make you uncomfortable. The frequency right now is to make the real people who got the real giftings and talents and don't really want to sell out, to make you uncomfortable enough that you will give up, to say there's no room for you. That's what Damon is saying. Hey, we know y'all ain't getting the money like that. We know BET's getting ready to be controlled. But there may be somebody out here say, you know what? I want to do BET, but now it don't feel encouraging. Carlotta, it feel like God, man. It feel like they only want to give the money to this and that. Start with what you know. Start the little BET in your area that you can control, and then see how it flourishes and moves. Quit looking at BET as the model, because they have clearly been compromised. That doesn't mean we can't use them. You can't be this and that. You can't certain things, but you know that people are trying to. Damon is very right. So this is going to call for a group of people who are going to be artists, and you may have to be doing things a little bit the hard way. If that's really what you want to do, if you really want to get your message out there, if you really wanted to thrive, and you got to trust God to do the work for you. And I always hear God say the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. So the word of God says that. And so sometimes there'll be wicked people that will help you get to where you need to get to, but you just got to be able to discern when that works, because there have been wicked people throughout history that have got God's message out without tampering with the narrative of it. Some have tried, but God can work through a lot of people. God can give you funding through anybody. You just got to make sure that it's God's thing being given, where the ideas that you have in your spirit, man, to give, that he's put through you. And if anybody tries to take those narratives, that's not the person you work with. Or when they do it after a while, then you know it's maybe time to change or something like that. So you have to seek people, and it could be people that you would never think of. Maybe even BET might help you one day, and you might be understanding like BET helping you, and you know they narrative getting controlled, but they helping you, and your narrative ain't getting controlled. Sometimes help can come from the strangest places, okay? So be open to everybody, but be understanding that you don't want to be a sellout to your ethics and values and narrative, okay? So that's how I say there. And Damon Dash is very right on that. And it was pretty funny, him telling the BT dude looked shocked. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you sitting here telling this about telling the whole real truth. Okay. Yes, these a lot of things are being used nowadays for social engineering and all kinds of things. Okay. That's how it is. All right, so you guys, you know what? I think I'm coming to the end of the show today. Listen, I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoy the topics and everything. Remember, you can hit me up on the Carlotta Chat with Facebook page. You can DM me that way. You can also DM me through Carly's_Galaxy on Instagram if you have anything to say about the show and all this stuff like that. Feel free, or some topics you want to hear me discuss or hear my opinion on, and I will try to get it out there. I'll try my best. You can also hit me up at Carlotta72 and C Chatwood Show on X. Those are two different accounts when I'm on there. Also, there's a link on Instagram for Threads. Remember, my Instagram is Carly's with an S _Galaxy, right? And then also my TikTok is Keisha Carlotta. All right. So you guys, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. I may try to come on and do another show this week. I don't know, because I got a lot going. Yeah, I try to finish this paper. Pray for me, okay? All right, you guys. So you have a good one. We are out, and I will see y'all. Bye.